All right, we are back. Let's get into night 2 of WrestleMania. Hope you checked out our night 1 go home show, and you are back for to be continued. We are joined by my fantastic co-host Evan Berke and our lovely special guest Tara Brown. And we were just talking off camera when we were setting things back up about we talked that Evan got to go on Kill Tony recently, and he can't wait to tell us about his experience when he's legally allowed to. But we've just found out that Tara was on Kill Tony too, so I'd love to hear your story.
Yeah. I kind of fell into it. It was the funniest story. I'm probably 2 years into doing comedy.
Really?
Right? I was 2 years in doing comedy. And my background is in PR, right? So every time I would travel to a city, I would go and find some stage time. You know how we do. So I remember reaching out to the Comedy Store. That's just the club, right? The Comedy Store. And I said, hey, how do I get some stage time? And it emailed me back and said, we do these open mics. And it said, you stand a better chance of going up if you write that you're from out of town. I said, okay. So I go, I had never seen so many comics fighting to get like 10 spots on the open mic list. So I signed this paper and the guy came out and said, everybody signed. And he took the paper, but it wasn't the paper I signed. And I said, I said, what did I sign? And they said, you signed the Kill Tony list. And I was like, what's Kill Tony? Like, I had no concept of what this was.
So they told me to sign up on a list.
Right. I was like, what is Kill Tony? And they explained it to me. Like, you get 1 minute. He said, but if you're bad, they'll really get on you. And I said, okay. Then I'm thinking, I don't want to do this. You know, they're going to kill me, right? They're literally going to kill me. I was like, I don't want to do this. And so we go in to the room. First up, it says she's from out of town. I was like, no, not me, Tara Brown. And I go up there and I was like, I didn't know what joke I was going to tell, but I had an idea. Because keep in mind, I didn't know what this was until I got in the room.
Right.
So
You think you're going to an open mic.
Yeah. So I got to think about 1 minute. So I think I got this one joke, this 1 minute. And so I do the joke. It goes over really, really well. And he said to me, Tony said to me, how long you been doing stand-up? And I said, probably a couple of years. He goes, you're really funny. I was like, thank you. And then he started asking me a lot of questions, which I thought was odd, about like, what do I do? And da-da-da. And he said, once you have more experience, you're going to get even better. So it was really, really cool.
That's
cool. On that night were the Sklar brothers. You know those guys?
Yeah.
And Punky Johnson.
Okay.
And they were all really nice to me. And I was like, I survived.
They were on the panel?
They were on the panel.
That's
so
cool.
that was really
What
nice.
year was this, you think?
I'm 11 years into comedy now, so that had to be 2 years. So what is this?
2016?
Something like that.
Wow.
That sounds about right. So they were really nice, and I remember there was another woman who came up after. She wasn't after me, but she was a few after me, and she kept saying, "How much more time do I have? How much more time?" And they ripped her to shreds. They're like, "How long you been doing this? You don't know a minute." And I was like, oh, let me get
How
out
does
of
a
LA.
person not know a minute?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my Kill Tony. It was a great experience.
That's awesome. I'm glad y'all both had good
Yeah.
experience.
They weren't giving out notebooks when I did it.
They didn't have notebook money back then.
Exactly. They have notebook money back then. You're right.
All right, let's get into night 2
Yes.
of our beloved WrestleMania.
Yes.
Real quick before we get into it, I was rewatching, as I do around this time, I rewatch a bunch of old WrestleManias just to, I love finding out, little tidbits I missed, or I'm like, oh, I hadn't seen that before. I just rewatched WrestleMania 24.
Which one?
It was, I'm trying to think what the big match, it was that Sean, it was, because I've watched so many now that they're all bleeding into it. Was that Sean Flair? I think it was Sean Flair when Sean retired.
Was that the one when Sean goes, I love you, and he kicked it?
Yeah.
Which is, we should have known, looking back. They had Flair headline that Hall of Fame class.
Oh, wow.
His
And he was still
career-threatening
wrestling?
match. Vince said, next time you lose, you're fired. And he had him headline the...
Of course.
And Charlotte came out and was Ashley. Because this was before her brother died. So she had no inkling to want to be a wrestler whatsoever. Reed, it was kind of eerie that Reed was out on stage there. But yeah, I was like, duh. They put Ric Flair in the Hall of Fame the year he was supposed to have a retirement match. Like, come on. But they had... Ironically enough, Kim Kardashian was the backstage reporter
For WrestleMania 24.
for WrestleMania 24.
That's when they were bringing out all the celebrities just to do anything.
Yeah. So that's what made me think of it. In the spirit of WrestleMania and celebrities, who's a current celebrity you would love to see be like the guest backstage commentator? I personally would love to see the madness that he's not one of my favorites, but it would be see the madness that Shane Gillis would cause backstage.
That would be fantastic.
But if you wanted a true from the heart, they're gonna give you everything they got performance.
Yeah.
Throw it to Dan Soder.
Yeah.
I love dance.
or I'm going Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart's always been a big fan.
I think
and
Jon
he
Stewart's
just-
gonna be a little too goofy.
Yeah.
You know, he'll get around somebody and be like, ah, you know?
But do you think Jon Stewart is age appropriate for this? Because he's probably
That's
more
fair.
Gen X.
I think,
Actually,
I think after Hogan, they're gonna stay away from anyone political.
Actually,
right?
they should.
I got to go with Vanessa Hudgens. She's become a
Ooh,
huge
yes,
fan.
that was
She's
good.
become
She's
a
got the
huge
personality
fan.
for
She's
it.
got the
Yes,
personality.
dude.
She
She was
crush
so
that.
cool when
easy
she
on the eyes.
She would crush
so
that.
listen, you know.
She's adorable.
Yeah.
I kind of liked when they had they do a lot of stuff with Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fun. It was just kind of lighthearted and fun. It was funny to see Bert Kreischer.
That's what I was
pop
gonna say.
up.
I'm not a big. I like Bert as a person. I'm not a big fan of his comedy.
Yeah.
But I love I love his YouTube shows and I love his personality.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's a perfect fit. Like when give him and Otis a TV show.
That was hilarious when they took the show. I'll tell you this. I get that they're coming at it from a kind of marketing standpoint, but the Travis Scott thing, can we not?
I'm not into
Can
it.
we
I think they backed off a little bit because
think-
of the
Well, I mean,
backlash
Between
they got.
Sexy Red, Travis Scott, and Tony Hinchcliffe, which again we're fans of Kill Tony, they're leaning into controversial.
I don't have to
they're,
be nice
they're
to him. I
very
hate
much
Tony
leaning into controversial
Yeah.
people to align with in a way that's kind of shocking.
Yeah. I just.
And, because I mean, you've just never seen them go so
Well,
polarizing.
didn't they open that door with Logan Paul and Prime? Like they partnered with Prime when Prime had open lawsuits.
Oh, is that
You
right?
know, like
Yeah,
Wow.
they don't care.
yeah,
They're
I
all
don't think
about
they're. It's the bottom dollar.
Yeah.
It's the corporate.
Well, I think
America
they've
world.
realized like they're. I mean, I think
You
the whole
can
thing, I
nitpick
think
anything
surviving the
around.
Vince McMahon scandal made
Like,
them
what are you gonna
realize,
do?
Like,
with
what are you
that?
gonna do to us?
Like, we got rid of Vince. All right,
Yeah.
what more do you want us to
But
do?
that
and also,
makes-
we can survive anything. We're like a cockroach.
But that makes me. I understand it from a business standpoint, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? I just like.
I cringe every time I see the Prime thing.
Yeah. Did
Kids
you
have
notice
died from that drink. You
And
know what I
did
mean?
you
Like,
notice in the audience they had somebody dressed in like the prom.
prime,
con-
yeah.
I'm like,
I'm not a Logan Paul fan. Speaking of which, I hope AJ Styles stomps a hole in his face.
But do you think he will?
I think so. I think AJ's too close to the end to lose a WrestleMania match to Logan Paul.
I agree.
All right. Okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that because I don't know if it's true what I read. I read something on the internet because if it's not on the internet, it's not true.
Of
I
course,
don't know
yeah.
for sure, but I read somewhere that when they were doing the Netflix poster, Logan Paul felt some type of way because he wasn't more centered, and then Triple H was like, "I didn't want to put you on the poster."
Yeah.
Netflix.
I hope that's real
I hope
because
that's
that
real,
makes
too.
me love Triple H even
But
more.
if you notice, they're kind of leaning away from him. Before it was just like they were invested in there. But here's the thing: I don't like the guy, but I respect that he respects the business
Same.
to work hard to put on a good
put on
match.
bangers matches.
Yes,
like
put on
I will
great
forever respect. And I've seen enough backstage that I don't 100% hate the dude's guts.
Yeah.
But I have gotten the fact that I don't think Triple H actually likes him. I think Triple H thinks he knows he has to work with him
Yeah.
because it's good for business.
Yeah.
But I think Triple H thinks he's an idiot. Like I think Triple
Yeah.
H looks at him like, dude, you're just a punk. Because
Yeah.
I saw a clip where he's bugging Triple H. He's like, "You like my jacket, Triple H? You like my jacket?" And he's like, "I just bought it today." And Triple H finally is like, "How much did you spend on that jacket?" And he's like, $1,200. He's like, "Well, you $1,200. You bought a shit jacket."
Oh,
Like I can just tell Triple H is
Wow.
like, "Get this idiot out of my
Yeah.
face."
yeah.
I don't like Logan Paul. I like his in ring work. He makes a true heel because you love.
He
to
really
hate
does.
dude.
And the
Like,
crowds are not. I almost wanted to. Well, I don't have HBO Max, but I almost wanted to watch that reality show they
can't
have.
do it. I cannot
Because
do it.
I said, is he really like that?
I think he is.
And I think he is. And I saw an interview he did
The
on
kid
TMZ.
got famous from walking in the suicide forest in Japan.
Is that what? Is that right? See, I didn't know him before he came over to.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the moral compass.
But I will always respect him and Bad Bunny for coming in and just saying, you know what, I'm going to respect this and treat it for the the art it is. And so I don't
Bad
like the
Bunny
guy,
can
but I
do no
respect what he brings to the table.
Bad Bunny can do no wrong.
But listen, I watch AJ Styles and I'm afraid. I think he's going to get hurt. I feel the same way about him that I used to feel about Edge. When I used to see Edge, I'm like,
They're
y'all
just
don't-
doing
please don't hurt
dumb
him.
things in AEW too.
Yeah,
like
'cause-
taking concertos. Like Edge, what are you doing, bro?
Because when he was on Raw this week, there was a couple of times he took some bumps. I'm like, that looked like he really hurt himself.
Yeah, and it's
I
like
think I think he has had some neck problems, so he's a
Yeah.
little more stiff, and I think he's put on a lot of muscle weight on his back.
Yeah.
To protect it. So I think what we're
Okay.
seeing is more stiff from what we're used to seeing with
Okay.
AJ Styles, but I think it's safe.
I hope he's okay. And how do you think Karrion Cross will factor into all of this?
That's a very good question.
Because that's a weird thing, but I feel like it's leading into
Well,
something.
maybe Karrion Cross cost AJ the match, sending AJ and Karrion into a feud.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping this leads to a vicious AJ Styles because that's all Karrion wants.
Yeah.
He wants heel AJ Styles. But
Well, that's what we had, and now he's back to babyface.
I like babyface
when
AJ Styles.
he never technically went back to babyface. We just cheered him when he came back. Like we thought we were about to lose AJ Styles. That's all that really came
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean? So,
But I feel
because
like-
I loved that retirement swerve.
That was
Why they
great.
didn't build on that, I
That was-
never
Yeah.
will know.
I feel like AJ as a heel need people around him. Like I
club.
feel like the club was great. I love having Meech in there. So I like him. I read something years ago with him where he said he doesn't really like to be a heel because he doesn't get to talk to the fans as much.
That's
and I
fair.
thought that was cute.
And I mean, if you're close to the end, why you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just go out of fan favorite.
Yeah, why
Because
not?
John Cena had to because he hadn't done it. You know, he's got
That's
20 plus
crazy.
years as a fan favorite.
Yep.
I know he
So
hadn't been
cool.
wrestling that long, but still. So yeah, AJ Styles, Logan Paul. Any last final thoughts on that? I hope it's a showcase for AJ
I
Styles.
hope it's AJ. I think it's gonna be Logan.
I think it's going to be Logan Paul, AJ Styles, and Karrion are probably going to
Yeah.
get set on a feud after
fair.
this.
And you think AJ, right?
I think AJ is going to
yeah.
win. I still think Karrion factors into it a little bit, but I think he can avoid it.
Yeah.
You know, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez coming in as the champs against a weird but interesting tag team of Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Do we care about this match?
Not at all.
Should it be the Street Profits against someone?
We don't care about this match at all. Let's be honest. It feels weird. Liv and Raquel as tag champs. Like,
They've effectively put the tag titles and the IC title in the same feud.
yeah,
Because you got to think Raquel and Liv are going to be hovering around the IC title after this. Mm-hmm. What's really the point? You're letting a lot of women that are deserved of all of these spots.
it just feels like a nothing burger WrestleMania match, and we just don't need nothing burger WrestleMania
Yeah.
matches.
I like Bailey, and I'm happy that they found a way to get her in, but it just feels like it's forced.
Yeah.
And, since it's forced, I'm like, well, give Bailey and Lyra the tag titles. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, in a weird way,
Yeah.
Bailey fits more in the Naomi Jade
Yeah.
storyline
Yeah.
than the weird match that she's in, And she hadn't been around those girls in a hot minute.
And Bailey's another one from everything you read about her. She's a company girl. She does the right thing. She puts people over. She mentors. So, I always want to see her win.
I see a lot of parallels with her and Seth.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
This is the match that I am so excited about. I think it's going to steal the whole weekend. Braun Breaker, IC champ, Finn Balor, Dirty Dom.
And Penta.
I think this one is going to be one of those sleeper matches that just
I think they're going to go off. I think we see the best version of Finn we've seen in a long time. Dirty Dom can go in the ring. Say what you will about the kid. The kid
Yeah.
can wrestle.
I think he steals it.
You think so?
I'm taking Dirty Dom.
Dude,
Are
I
you?
love that
That's
idea.
the biggest reaction of the match.
I
Is Dom
love
winning.
that idea. Obviously I want Penta, but there's obviously more stories to tell here. This is one of those
Because
that
you need
you
Finn.
literally could give it to anybody and I'd be okay with
It's
it.
got to be Finn or Dom, because then you need a feud there. You
You're
need
right.
them to be beefing
To finally
over
get
it.
rid of the Judgment Day.
And then if Dom has it, then Finn's pissed. Give it to Dom.
They
Yeah,
randomly
that's a
asked
good
And Dom
Rhea
think-
Ripley about the Judgment Day and if
needs
they
it.
should split up. And she said they have been split up. They said the Judgment Day split up when the Terror Twins left. I don't know what this little group that they call themselves is now. So I feel like they're dropping these little hints to get rid of the Judgment.
And Dom's been playing ball.
He's done a
It's
great
his
job.
time.
Would you like to see him with someone? Like, what if someone came out and them and Carlito helped Dom, and Dom was the leader of a new faction to get rid of the Judgment Day?
I like that.
Yeah, you're right. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the work that Dom has put. I didn't think about that. That's an interesting.
That is a good because no one's thinking about that.
Yeah, I like Braun Breaker. I like that kid so
I love
much.
Braun
And,
Breaker.
man,
I mean, fresh off the spear of the best spear
And
ever.
again, I'm still convinced Goldberg is going to be retired by Braun Breaker, and that is why they're having Braun do all of these wild
YouTube enjoyed
spears.
that take, bro.
So then it's like going to be spear versus spear. But I think that's why. That spear flip on Carlito was the best spear I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. It's the greatest
So
spear of all
good.
time.
That is an interest. I didn't think about Dom, but I could see it.
I mean, has the kid not deserved a title?
Yes.
And Finn doesn't need it or want it. I read an interview where Finn was like, I just want to be a part of good, fun stories.
He doesn't need
And you
to be.
can tell that.
He's the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the belt to be relevant. Just like you said, make him important. That's
Right.
all you got to do.
That's all you need to do for any of them.
Right. Well, we're so programmed. Like Roman looks naked without the belt. You know, like Cody would look naked without the belt.
But even still, like, I hate that Roman doesn't have a belt, but the way he can command, like, if I ever met him, the one question I would want to ask him is, what goes through your mind when the music hits and, like, everybody loses their mind? Like,
And he's
can you
got the
imagine?
best music in the game.
Because when they had the new music, I'm like, how do I feel about this? I'm like, okay, I'm okay, I'm bored. Then you get everybody, like I love when you see on the internet, you got the people are putting up Roman comes out, you got a kid on this watching him, and it's like, I love that.
I love
so
to meet
much.
like from 55-year-old man to 5-year-old.
Yes.
When his music hits, everyone's
Yes, I would love to know what goes through your mind. Can you imagine? Listen, as comedians, we get hyped. We get to write
right.
walk-up songs. Right?
like, what do you want to come out to? I get to pick.
I know. I was like, wait, I got to feel, you know. So it's just like I can't.
I
even
love when they're
imagine.
like, well, what do I get to choose from? They're like, we got anything. Like, this is gonna steal the show, and I'm excited about it. And we talked about in the history in the realm of bad music, Roman has great music. I wish Penta could get some better music, man.
Yeah.
I wish Braun could get some better music. Like I do like the siren. Like his NXT thing was great. The sirens go off, the barking starts. Just do that.
Yeah. I love that people bark. I love the barking thing with him.
Yeah.
I really, I hope they do. I think he has such a long life in this that if they take the belt off of him, it's fine. They already did one time, but I want to see this kid win.
Yeah.
I really want to see him win, and he's in it and he comes from good stock and all that stuff. So I want well for him, but I love that idea about Dominic.
He's done a great job of acknowledging his background with the Steiners, but not relying on it. And to be honest with you, his dad has said some dumb things out there.
Yeah, I
so
heard
they
it,
stay
yeah.
away from it. So he's done a good job of teeing I'm a Steiner, but I'm not a Steiner.
Not that Steiner.
Right. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre in a Sin City street fight.
I'm going Drew McIntyre. He finally gets revenge for all that Damian.
The glass in the eye.
all the taking advantage of Drew while he's been down. I think that, Drew has had a hell of a year.
They got to build Drew back up.
I feel so bad for him. He carried the company during the COVID years, and I just felt like they did not reward him well for that.
You
and I
remember
want to see
when
him
he
win.
beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania in front of no one?
Yes.
And then they trotted out the Big Show, and he had to wrestle the Big Show after beating Brock Lesnar in front of no one. And we didn't even know about that until Raw the next night.
I hate
My man's been through it.
I like to see Drew. This is that match I don't really care about, but I do want to see Drew.
I didn't care about it until they said it was a street fight.
No.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and
That's gonna be
Drew
fun.
in that Hell in a Cell was amazing. So, and the two of them have something to prove.
You know what I'm hoping this reminds us of is that Gold Dust, Rowdy Piper, back alley, backstage fight when they were WrestleMania goes Hollywood and they let him go out into the streets. I want them to go out into the streets of Vegas.
You know they are. There's no way they're not. And can you see that on the Las Vegas Strip? That'd be
awesome.
Fun. That would be great.
It's fun when the background becomes its own character.
Yeah.
And because I watched the WrestleMania 9 at Caesars just to get hyped about Vegas again, and it didn't disappoint whatsoever. Like, it's fun. Did y'all watch that Peacock just released? WrestleMania 9 was the first WrestleMania, they allowed cameras backstage.
Is that right?
And so they have all of that footage. It's on I just watched it the other
Somebody
day.
How long was it?
It's like an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, it's
someone-
amazing.
What's it called?
It's just behind the scenes making of WrestleMania 9.
I was just
Becoming
asking
a
about that,
Spectacle?
then I watched
Yes,
it.
there we go.
Oh my gosh, what a great promo!
I stumbled upon that the other day.
Oh wow,
It's a beautiful
That's pretty cool.
image.
To be honest with you, WrestleMania 9, I was 9, the height of my fandom, and they put out all of my favorite wrestlers dressed up as Caesar's characters.
Oh nice.
And it was the first WrestleMania. It was outdoors. It was still sunny. The first
remember
match that
that.
kicked off was Shawn Michaels coming out, and that was my favorite wrestler already. So I was like, "You're kicking off with my favorite wrestler." Like Lex Luger was the narcissist still. Mr. Perfect was just coming back to the company. It was 2 doinks.
Wow.
It was just such a great WrestleMania.
I love
The
your
ending's
recall.
terrible.
You have really great recall.
It's just because I just watched it.
Oh, okay. That's just
It was
like, that's
the
good.
ending was terrible when they had Hogan beat Yoko after Brett lost.
I remember the first one, and I was still in New York, and I remember going to watch it on closed circuit TV.
We talked about that the other
I
day.
was at, I think it was the Beacon Theater. I think I watched it in New York.
What an incredible experience to be able to watch that WrestleMania as part of like a watch party at a theater.
That was fun. Well, the WrestleMania, the first time they started going to 2 nights, me and some of my wrestling buddies in Charlotte actually went because they were showing it at AMC Theater. I think it was it? Yeah, I think they were showing it at AMC Theaters, and me and some of my wrestling buddies went.
That's great.
That was
the
fun.
big screen.
That was actually
because
fun.
we're talking about it that those new venues where it looks like you're front row,
Yeah.
but you're just at a table at like a theater. That'd
Yeah.
be perfect.
They should do more of that.
I think they're starting to. I think that's the new craze.
Have
I
you
think it's just now catching on.
Have you all been to any of the not PLEs, but house shows when they've come to Nashville?
I know the last house show I went to was in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
It was great.
I haven't been to a house show here. I went to a house show at Madison Square Garden a few years ago.
What a great place to go to a house
one of their
show.
holiday.
They pull all
it was
those
like
out.
it was one of their. It was they always do day after Christmas.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I went to one of those.
Oh, that's dope.
My girlfriend's family got me tickets for Christmas, and then my girlfriend didn't realize that meant she was gonna have to come with me. She was
She's like, I did not plan on doing it.
She hasn't. She was so disengaged. She doesn't even remember going.
That's so funny. Our
Laura
friend-
got to go and had a blast. I took it
Oh,
with
really?
me. So Laura got to see a Raw, and it's overproduced and
Yeah.
super spectacle. She enjoyed that, but
Yeah.
then she got to see the house show when it's low stakes.
And she
Our
loved that.
Truth got to be super funny.
yeah, super silly.
Like I think someone came running out in like a towel and had a match. Like just she got to see the silly off camera side.
Yeah,
and she
loved that
much
more?
preferred the
Yeah,
house
really.
show stuff.
I went to a Raw on at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, and it's funny because a really good friend of mine, she had a job that got you like access to the suites, and so she has this great picture of me with all of these kids. They're like sitting next to me. I'm the only adult, and we're watching like wrestling from the suite, and it was so cute. And then one little kid was like, "I just hate him. I hate him." I said, "No, we don't say hate." but it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
I love it, man. That's when you fall in love with the wrestling. Is
Yeah.
if I don't go to those early Armory shows
Yeah.
for some no-name wrestling group, like I don't think I love it as much.
Yeah.
So you got to fall in love with it live. And now you can't pay me enough to go sit around a bunch of people. I'm not a crowd person whatsoever. Every time Evan's like, "You want to go to Mania?" I'm like, "Ah."
You gotta go. Though.
One
You
time
have
I'm
to
gonna
go.
go.
I mean, I feel like you
It
have
should
to
be.
do that.
It'll be here in a couple years. This new stadium.
Yeah,
will
they'll
they'll
have-
do a
they'll have
Mania here
WrestleMania, yeah.
before 2030, I imagine.
Then we can
That
have
would
a
be
Broadway brawl.
Ah, nice.
They're going to.
Mm-hmm.
I still think I'm not a big Brock Lesnar fan at all, but I still loved the tractor and lifting the ring.
Oh,
That
that
was
was killer.
yeah.
That was
He
so
was fun
freaking
when
awesome.
he got to be that guy.
The Cowboy Brock was
Yeah,
the best
he
version
was
of
so
him by
much
far.
fun.
Yeah,
I
and then,
read
and
where
then
he
the
was telling people
allegations.
He's not coming back. Like he's like full on retired. So I think that they've done enough with him though. at this point.
Exactly. He's got a great legacy. Why really bring him back?
I disagree.
Really? You
Yeah.
want him back?
I think he deserves a farewell.
That would be nice.
I think the tractor thing is the best thing you can do for him, though.
But that wasn't a farewell.
I know,
Yeah.
but he's not that type of dude. He doesn't want the retirement tour, I don't think.
I don't know that he needs a tour, but I just think he needs one last.
I mean, we haven't seen the very end all of Brock Lesnar.
I don't
I'm
think
just
we
saying
have.
he's going to be gone for a
Yeah,
while.
we don't need him to have like a big feud, but I think
him being a regular performer.
Because I'm pretty sure the
done.
lawsuit's done
Who was
against
suing
Vince
him?
McMahon.
The same
Oh,
lady. Yeah, he was intertwined in that.
Oh, that's right.
And
That's
why.
right. That's right.
And
that's right.
I think the whole thing's been dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, and I know we're gonna get that Cody Cena promo, Chef's Kiss, when he said, I'm not verbatim.
Did they pick you, or was it just some guy in an office and we don't talk about him anymore?
I was like, oh, that was everything.
That's the best thing Cody's ever said.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was so good.
Well, let's talk about the triple threat
Okay.
with the girls, and then that's the only other one to talk about.
Oh,
Okay.
and when he said about all you did was leave, you didn't leave this place better than you left it. You just left a bunch of disengaged fans. Cody crushed that promo.
He did.
Sorry.
Okay.
And no, I love it because
Yeah.
that's
I got
been
us
my,
off track.
that's
That
been the
was my
promo of
Yeah,
2025.
Cody crushed that promo. That was
Like,
the,
I haven't hung on words of a promo in a long time.
I say,
Cena brings out the best in promo work. I mean,
You hope
just
so.
you just
There's been times it didn't happen where you're like, but he's Cena. He's supposed to pull this because I think
Wait, but-
early on he wanted to pull that from Roman and he couldn't get that
when
from
you
Roman.
sent me
But
that
it
clip,
was after that Roman really got it
yeah.
together.
yeah.
I mean, Roman was exposed that day.
We got Io Sky versus Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley for the women's.
This is my match. This is the match I think is gonna.
I think Io's going to go off. I think they've purposely disrespected her
Yeah.
the last little bit that she is going. I don't want to. It's such a negative tone spot fest, but a good, well timed, intricated into the match spot fest. I think they're just going to let Io cook.
I agree with you. I think Io's going over. I want Bianca, but I think it's Io.
You can make a case for any of them.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, this is one of those
wanna see
matches. She had the belt.
Yeah, I don't think she needs it, and I love Rhea. I love all three of them, but
These are my three favorites.
they're
Here.
awesome.
These are my
these
three
women
favorites.
are going to bring it.
I think Io wins. I think Bianca and Rhea could potentially be in a program together after this, you know, because Rhea really forced her way into the match. You know, if Rhea's the reason why Bianca doesn't win, Bianca has every reason to then go after Rhea.
Yep.
She's still got to look over her back for Jade too, Bianca. So I'm excited about that. So
And
many
Rhea needs to
layers
probably
to
look
this.
over her back for Becky. Well, I don't know. If she doesn't have
This is
title,
another
doesn't
type
make
that
sense.
Becky could kind of show up
Yeah,
at,
I think
know?
so. But I think maybe that's been done too, though.
Yeah.
That's been done.
I still want to pay off, and I know you got to do a bunch of things to get there, but I still need a finale to Charlotte and Rhea. I still need an answer to their feud because you remember Charlotte kind of brought Rhea into the main event scene, you know?
I remember when Rhea won the belt off of Charlotte, and she was there like 5 minutes. She had just gotten there, and I was like,
Wasn't she still NXT champion?
I think she had just made the jump. Okay. I don't think she was still NXT champion.
Was that WrestleMania COVID, or did Rhea lose that match to Charlotte?
Because they're
lost
one and
that match
they're
to
1-1.
Yeah, but no, there were crowds when Rhea won it off of Charlotte. There were crowds.
Which
I
was
remember that.
39,
maybe.
Los Angeles.
I
Yeah,
don't remember. That
Like I
sounds
said,
right.
they're all running
it was
together. for me.
huge. It was
That's
like
how-
that was like
But
one of the best.
I remember Rhea winning and me thinking it's not a good idea because she just got here. But to see from that moment to now, I'm like, you go, girl.
Yeah. All right. Do you think we get an Orton match? You think Aleister
We
Black
have
comes
to.
back? Is this a way to reintroduce?
We're
Aleister
definitely
Black?
getting an Orton match. I don't know. What
I think
it's
they
gonna
brought it. I think that
be.
whole segment with him and Aldis for a reason. You know what I mean?
But who?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would
But
love.
when he said, take off your suit.
I would love
was
Nick
like,
Aldis to step in the ring and do that.
Did I read somewhere that he's going to be leaving?
I
I
hope
thought I
not.
read somewhere. That could be wrong.
I love the GM situation.
I do too.
I know you got to keep it fresh and you got to switch some things up every now and then, but not now. I love Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis.
Adam Pearce is hilarious. They showed a shot of him on Instagram reading a book, How to Deal with Difficult People. I thought that was hilarious. But all this, do you see those muscles protruding out of that suit?
So he has said he has 2 contracts. He has a GM contract and he has an in-ring performer
I
contract.
kind of would like that. Orton and Aldis, I think that would be kind of cool. Or do you think they're going to give him something on SmackDown since they're thinking it's just like...
I think Aldis would be good for Aldis. I don't know what it does for.
Yeah,
Orton.
agreed.
Because who really wins that? You know what I mean? Aldis doesn't lose. You don't want Aldis to lose his debut match, but you also don't want the GM to suit up and beat one of your superstars.
Yeah.
Well, they put out a poster for Backlash,
And it's Orton.
and it's Orton.
Yeah.
So something's going down at Mania.
Yeah.
But who?
is Orton in? Does
He's
Rock
another one I
Rock
worry
have
about.
Orton in his back pocket?
Great.
Oh.
Oh, is the Rock
Could
just
you
getting
imagine-
people to sell out?
Could you mention Rock, Orton, and Cena
Love
running
it.
things?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And I'll tell you this.
I love that.
I love all versions of Randy Orton, but Randy Orton as a heel is everything.
His heart is as black as it could get.
Yeah, he's a great
He's
heel.
not a good
He's not a
guy.
baby face. No.
So I would love that, dude. The ace in the hole.
Yeah. So you think he comes out in this Cena? How does this work?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's the thing is like I want it to happen. Don't know how it happens.
But you're right. He has to be involved somehow. He's another one of those guys, kind of like I said with AJ Styles and Edge. I'm like, don't hurt him.
Yeah,
He's my
but
guy.
he's so big now that I'm like not
Yeah.
worried. He's almost bubble wrapped himself in muscle. You know what I mean?
He looks good.
But you remember a couple with Cody Rhodes' debut?
Mm-hmm.
Seth was trying to get into Mania, and they were like, "We got a match for you," and that's how Cody came back.
Yeah.
So I think I could see a potential where they're like, "Just go to the ring. I got somebody for you."
And who-
Aleister Black comes back,
Oh, that's right. Because that's right.
That'd be huge. And that'd be huge
great.
for Aleister Black.
and that's okay for Aleister to beat Randy.
Yeah. And that makes sense because Zelina Vega's on SmackDown. And so, like I said, they try to keep the families together. So that'll be good for Aleister.
And what a
That would be
great way
cool.
to reintroduce him to be like, "Hey
Yes.
man, we know we fumbled you the first time.
Yeah.
We're having you beat one of our main guys at Mania to come
That
back."
would-
Also,
good.
think about this. Who was
Because you got to think that promo Aleister Black did. The date was WrestleMania. It was 420.
Oh, is that right?
you've also got Randy Orton, who has
Wait,
been
that's the
affiliated with the Wyatt family.
Mm.
I mean, him and Bray Wyatt were boys.
Were they really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
And they had that extensive
thing with Alexa Bliss.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's
that was
right.
That was Randy's. Randy was
was-
his opponent during all that.
That was crazy because I remember, was that WrestleMania when Alexa straddled him? And I was like, that's a married man. Get off of him. And then I read that Randy's wife was not happy about that. And I was like, Mrs. Orton, I was not happy for you.
Yeah, like we got your
Get off
back.
that man like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I could see a bunch of different things. Like it's a nice little question mark there.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
All right, main event. The reason we're all here, the match that everyone is hyped about and could see going a bunch of different ways. Cody Rhodes.
That's so funny. I saw a graphic where they were showing like a bunch of shows coming up and they were advertising John Cena on them, which leads me to think that they're going to give him a belt. And I
think
thought
so.
it was interesting on SmackDown when they brought out all these belts from years past and they had the spinner belt. And I was like, they're going to mess around. And then the fact that he was like, so adamant, like, yep, I'm winning the belt and I'm taking it home. So I think they're gonna put Cena over. I want to say this about Cody Rhodes, but everybody that said that he's soft, that promo against Cena, I was like, sir, first of all, I respect anybody with a neck tattoo. Nobody who gets a neck tattoo is soft, but his stock just went through the roof in my eyes because he crushed that. So I think Cena goes over.
I do too, unfortunately. Oh, well, not
Yeah.
unfortunately, because I am excited to kind of get the belt off Cody, let him reset, recharge, let them reset, recharge. Heel Cena with the belt just works. I think the whole reason you turn him and have him align with Rock is to have be the champion. I have no idea how they get there, and I'm excited to see what they have in store because I think we talked about the shenanigans, the possibilities. They got to pull something out here that has us all leaving going,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going Cena.
yeah.
3
I
to
think
3.
Cena with a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But The Rock's going to show up.
Randy Orton.
He has to.
Randy Orton could screw Cody
love
over.
that.
I could see Randy Orton screwing Cody over.
Yeah.
Uniting with,
Yeah.
could be awesome.
I think you're right. I was trying to think to myself, like, I was much more excited about last year's WrestleMania than I am this one. But now that we've gone through these matches, I'm like, I'm there. I'm
Yeah,
there.
I'm excited. I needed
excited.
this to get excited.
Yeah, I'm there.
It just has a different feel. We talked about this earlier. WrestleMania 40 was just so perfectly booked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stories were just so perfect and seamless.
Yeah.
And this one feels like the beginning of something, not the end of something. Where WrestleMania 40 felt like kind
That's a
of,
good way to look at it.
like things were kind of coming to a wrap.
I do feel like they're crouching down, ready to reset and hit us with something big going out of this. So
It
I
has
do
to
feel
be
that
something
feeling too.
big, right?
Yeah.
Who do we expect any surprises? For me, I think Becky Lynch. But do we expect anybody else coming that we didn't see?
I would like to see an Aleister Black appearance.
Oh, right. I think
I'd like
that'd be
Aleister to
great.
show up, and I would like to see somebody else help Cena. I'm digging the Orton thing, but I would like to see. I've said it the whole time. The only thing Cena's missing is some lackeys or someone to be on his side.
Yeah. I think, as we said, when people are so over, they don't need a belt. But Cody strikes me like the guy who needs the belt, though.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I hate. Because from everything you see and hear and read, he just seems like such a genuinely nice guy, and you want to root for him. But it just feels different as him as champion than it did with Roman, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait for these 2 nights of WrestleMania. Where can they find you guys at?
Well, I'm going to be on an episode of Kill Tony coming out.
Yes, you are.
Bridgestone Arena Night 2. Stay tuned for that episode of Kill Tony. We're going to be at Third Coast Comedy Club this Friday night on a showcase is what we're going to be doing. Next week, I'm at the Mockingbird Theater in Franklin, Tennessee, hosting for Steven Rogers, part of Comedian Discovery. So that is where I will be coming up. Tara, where are you going to be?
Well, I'll be on a cruise ship.
Let's go.
If you want to get on the Carnival Valor on April 27th, that's where you'll find me.
There you go.
But in the meantime, you can find me on social media at Tara Brown Comedy. They know where to find you, right? Okay.
Yeah, check me out on Instagram and check me out. I'll be social mediaing it up during WrestleMania. So check out all of our great
We have
content.
an online watch party.
We should.
Okay.
Hit that subscribe button, guys. We got so much more Spandex stand-ups coming your way. We'll see you next time.